And this segment is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook and app. Number 1 is safe, but number 2, my man Deke, it's reliable and most importantly secure, because we don't play when it comes to our money. I know you do not play when it comes to money.
I don't mess around.
Not at all. In DraftKings, they are just like you in that regard. And the thing that I also love about DraftKings is this, man. For all the first-time users out there, trust me, it's a lot of first-time users out there. We once were first-time users as well. But for all the first-time users, if you use the promo code Moats, that's MOATS, you will receive up to $1,000 in deposit bonus money. So if I were to tell you that if this is your first time doing this, all you got to do is use a promo code, you receive up to $1,000 in deposit bonus money, you would think that's a good deal, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, and it's just free money for an opportunity to win more money. That's a win-win.
And it makes your Sundays fun, or any day that football is being played.
It could be a Wednesday. You never know, right?
Exactly.
So stop wasting time. Download the app, use the promo code, and let's get an opportunity to make some money.
Actually, I got an extra hot topic one, actually.
We got.
Is PFF disrespecting Chuks. Did you see that?
Bro, I don't like the whole PFF thing, because for me, this is a big issue, right? So you talked about the All-Pro secondary that the Ravens have, right? Yeah. Now, if we were talking about just corners in terms of how would you rate them, Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Peters,
that's probably a top duo in the league.
Top duo in the league, right? You would think. You realize for PFF, they had Jimmy Smith rated higher than both of those guys, bro.
I didn't notice that.
Yes, absolutely.
I was just looking at our guys.
I know you did. They had Jimmy Smith rated higher than both of those guys. They had Vince Williams rated higher as an inside linebacker than Bud Dupree at an edge rusher. They had
Bud Dupree's rating low. I remember mentioning that earlier. Yeah,
absolutely.
Way back.
And I want to say, was it?
They have TJ rated as number 1.
TJ was number 1. I want to say Cam was. Because I know Tyson was rated higher than Cam as well. Tyson was like the number 1 like nose tackle that they had. I'm like, all right. I don't. But you already know how I don't really rock with PFF like that, bro.
Well, they had Chuks as like the last right tackle. Yeah, that's why I brought it up. I was surprised because we've talked about him how many times.
They had Jimmy Smith
being underrated.
Jimmy Smith was rated as the 8th rated corner on PFF yesterday
in the league.
Okay. I have an issue with that, bro. I don't care.
He's doing more slot corner
now. He is, but I don't care. I don't care if he's a slot or outside corner. If we're talking corners, because that's how they didn't rate him just as this is the best slot. They had him in that big pool with everyone else. That's an issue to me. Jimmy Smith, he's been doing it for a long time. I think it's 10, 11 years from now. Yeah, they showed
10 years.
But Jimmy Smith isn't a top 5 corner at this stage in his career. He's not. He's not better than Marlon Humphrey or Marcus Peters. But for him to be rated that high compared to those guys, I have an issue with PFF. and it just shows. I'm like, bro, there's no way you're going to have that guy rated like that. There's no way you're going to have Vince rated as high as he is and Bud rated as low as Bud is. Like, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. And that's why I don't really care for PFF like that.
So you don't even need to talk about Chuks. You could just talk about the inconsistencies with that stuff.
I don't. When you have a lot of... I'm not going on PFF today, bro. I'm not.
Okay.
I just feel like it's a little bit difficult to grade some of the things that they try to grade without the information that's needed. That to me is the biggest thing, man.
Hey, I guess you do your best. You watch the game, you analyze it, but yeah, that's probably not right from an objective standpoint.
Because if I'm asking you to grade me on my technique, but you don't know the technique I'm taught to play, how do you grade that? You don't know.
You have your own little personal spin on it.
So you're going to think that I'm supposed to do it this way. I could be doing it the exact way I'm supposed to be doing it and grade out 100% with my team. But you could look at it and say, well, I saw this guy in LA do it this way, and that's the way I think you're supposed to do it. So I'm going to give you a 0 for that. Like, I have an issue with that. That doesn't make sense to me, you know? So that's the biggest reason why I never really rock with PFF like that, bro.
Understood.
But people like it, though. And I know people say, well, NFL teams pay for it, and that's all well and good. But I can tell you from my personal experiences with these teams and these scouts, when it comes to the people that they want on the field, we're not having conversations about what PFF is ranking. We're not. If anything, they use the PFF information almost from an analytical standpoint to see, okay, because they do some stuff where they break down, okay, well, this guy at 5-yard passing, 10-yard passing, or 15 yards, like this how they have defended, or this the pass that they've caught. That information is good, but the whole ranking system, they're not
players.
going off of that when it comes to the actual games. Because that's the narrative that people try to spin when you get on PFF. Whoa, the teams are paying for it. The teams are paying for it. There's a lot of things the teams pay for that don't do anything, don't mean anything. And a lot of times we even would say y'all wasting your money. But that's for another debate. So yeah, that's how I feel about that whole PFF rating for Chuks, man.
What it's good for is when your guy is ranked on top of the list for them.
That's about it.
And then what else it's good for is if your guy's getting disrespected, you argue about it. That's what it's good for. You get upset.
That's about it, bro.
For debates and media stuff. Yeah.
I don't waste my time with PFF, man. People love it though. So, and I understand why, because if you're not trained the way, like, because for me as a guy who's been around the game,
you're going
for so
off
long,
someone that's watching like every player, so it's like something to go off of at least.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say, for people that don't and this thing, for people that don't understand how to watch film, or people that haven't played the game at a high level, it's hard to evaluate some of these positions. It's not, I mean, quarterback is a lot easier because you can look at completion percentages, attempts, yards, touchdowns, interceptions. With receivers, you can look at, okay, catches, yards, yak, touchdowns, stuff like that. But when you start talking about some of these other positions, you have to get a little bit more in detail and in depth. And if you don't have the eye to actually know what it's supposed to look like, then your best way to evaluate and compare and contrast is to go off of the analytical approach, and that's what PFF does. So
some type of standard.
Correct. Yeah. So for the people that don't have the eye and don't have the full understanding, that works for them perfectly. But for the guys that understand it and see it and know how it's actually supposed to operate, it's a very flawed system. And that's why the football guys, we sometimes have issues with it.
This was our first game. I think this is why I'm bringing it up. This was our first game being on NBC, correct?
Yes,
wow,
correct.
It's been this long, dude.
Yeah.
It's been this long.
They hit you with the Sunday Night Football Wednesday edition. It's like, oh, all right, cool.
Yeah, because we had just a bunch of 1 o'clock games, a couple fours thrown in there.
And we had Monday night.
Yeah.
But no
this
Sunday night.
This was the first one. Then we got the Bills, though, coming up, right?
Correct.
We got the Monday night.
Yeah.
It's nice. We get the extra primetime game here.
And I'm glad it's at 5 o'clock, too. I think it's at 5:40.
It's at 5.
Is it 5 or 5? No, it's at 5 because we were 3:40 yesterday, so it's at 5
Yeah.
o'clock. So I like that too, man. I said, man, that's early enough where I'm gonna enjoy it. I'll be fully sauced up. Game will be good, and then it won't be, midnight when the game's over. So